In this video, we are going to have a look at second set of CAT 2022 slot 2 DILR section. So take the screenshot of data, try this set by yourself and then come back to explanation video. Now let's start with this set. Every day, a widget supplier supplies widgets from warehouse W to the 4 locations A, B, C and D. The daily demand for widgets in each location is uncertain and independent of each other. The demands and the corresponding probability values in parentheses are given against each location ABCD in the given figure below. For example, 40% chance that the demand at Ahmednagar will be 50 units. So look here, Ahmednagar is over here. 40% chances are there that demand is 50 and the remaining 60% chances are there for the demand 70. So the demand is going to be either 50 or 70. For demand 50 the probability is 40%, for demand 70 the probability is 60%. The lines in the figure connecting the locations and the warehouse represent two-way roads connecting those places with the distances shown on the line. The distances in both directions along a road are equal. For example, a road from Ahmednagar to A to B and the road from B to A. Both are 6 kilometers. There is one more paragraph given. Let's read that paragraph. Every day, the supplier gets information about the demand values from the 4 locations and create the travel route such that from the warehouse, travel route from the warehouse ends at a location after visiting all the locations exactly once. So let me underline few keywords. Every location is supposed to visit exactly once. While making the route plan, the supplier goes to the locations in decreasing order of demand. If there is a tie for the choice of next location, the supplier will go to the location closest to the current location. Also, while creating the route, the supplier can either follow a direct path. Let's read this statement again. Also, while creating the route, the supplier can either follow a direct path from one location to other or can take a path via warehouse. If both paths are available, then supplier will choose the path with the minimum distance. After that, let's start with the first question, everyone. Just remember these few keywords. The keywords are every location should be visited exactly once. The demand is satisfied in decreasing order. Let's have a look at question number 1. Question number 1 is, if the last location visited is Ahmednagar, then what is the total distance covered in the route in kilometers? This question is excluded from the evaluation process because of inconsistency. Now, how this question is inconsistent? Let's have a look at it, everyone. So over here, the supplier will start from warehouse W and the last location visited by supplier is Ahmednagar, that is A. Supplier going to visit these locations A, B, C, D in the decreasing order of the demand. It means out of these 4 locations, Ahmednagar is going to have the lowest demand. So can the demand at Ahmednagar be 70? No, it cannot be 70 because the demand at station D is either 50 or 30. The demand at station B is either 60 or 40. So the demand at Ahmednagar cannot be 50, cannot be 70, because if it becomes 70 then it will not be the consistent data. So the demand at Ahmednagar has to be 50. It cannot be 70. So now we can see that the demand at C is going to be higher. The demand at C is going to be higher than B or D. It is going to be higher than both B and D, because demand at C is going to be either 70 or 100. Even if you take 70, it is higher than B and D. So the first location visited by supplier is location C, whose demand is 70 or 100. After that, The next station is going to be B or D. Let's have a look at it, everyone. So over here, the next location, that is going to be B or D. If the demand at B cannot be 40, everyone, now, because this should be in the decreasing order. As demand at station A is 50, the demand before station A cannot be less than 50. It has to be more than or equal to 50. So demand at station B cannot be 40, it has to be 60. Now you can see that the demand at station B is anyhow greater than demand at station D, because demand at station D is going to be either 30 or 50, both are less than 60. So after station C, the next location supplier will visit is station B with the demand 60, and the next location supplier will visit is demand D with the capacity, with the demand how much? It cannot be 30, because 30 is less than 50. It will not form a decreasing order. So the demand at station D, it's supposed to be 50 only. So now the order is going to be from warehouse to C, B, D, A. So there are few points that you need to make sure. First is every location should be visited only once. Every location should be visited only once, and we follow the shortest path. So to travel from W to C, we can go like this, W and C. So in this case, the distance traveled is going to be 2 plus 6, that is equal to 8. But this is not a valid route. Why it is not a valid route? Because the demand should be satisfying in the decreasing order. We cannot satisfy the demand of station D before station C. Now the second point is we cannot visit station D 2 times. We cannot visit station D 2 times, and we cannot satisfy the demand of station D before station C. So we are not going to follow this route. So we are going to follow a direct route. So the distance traveled from W to warehouse to station C is 12. After that, C to B shortest is this 4. Now B to D. The B to D distance is this much, 10 and 2, that is equal to 12. Because supplier cannot travel like this. If supplier travel like this, then the supplier will visit station A twice. Before station A, we need to satisfy the demand of station D. So that is why supplier needs to take this route, 10 plus 2, 12. And after that, to reach at station A, to reach at location A, supplier can take this 8 distance route, or supplier can take this 2 plus 5 distance route. Which one is having the least length? 2 plus 5. So the distance traveled by D to A is 7. So over here, the total distance traveled by supplier is equal to how much? Let's add these numbers. 12 and 12, 24, and 28 plus 7 is 35 is the total distance traveled. Now why this question is wrong? Why this data is inconsistent? Because the one of the paragraph given over here is, the one of the statement in the paragraph is, while creating the route, okay, hold on. If there is a tie, okay, if there is a tie, then supplier will go to the closest location. So over here, there is a tie between D and A. Once there is a tie between D and A, once supplier reaches at point B, which one is the closest location for supplier from point B? Obviously it is location A. So ideally supplier should travel from warehouse to C to B to A, then D. But question says that the last location visited is Ahmednagar. We cannot follow this route. So this route is valid, but this route does not satisfy the condition given in the paragraph. That is why this question is not excluded. This question is not included in the evaluation process. Now let's go to the next question. Now in the next question, question number 7, the total number of visits delivered in a day is 250. Then we need to find the total distance traveled. So over here, the total requirement at location A is going to be 50 or 70. There is a difference of 20. At location B, the requirement is 40 or 60. At location C, the requirement is 70 or 100. And at location D, the requirement is 30 or 50. We want this addition to be 250. So total requirement is supposed to be 250. If you find the minimum requirement is going to be how much? The minimum total requirement is going to be 50 plus 40, 90, 160 and 190. Means we want 60 units extra. If we want to find a maximum requirement, the maximum requirement is going to be how much? 70 plus 60, 130, 230 and 280. This 280 we need to make 250. So from this step it is easy. If we want to make 250 from 280, we need to reduce the requirement by 30. So the reduction in demand by 30 is possible over here. Instead of 100, if we take 70, over here the maximum requirement 50, over here 60, over here 70. Then you can see that the addition is 250 over here. We cannot remove. If we subtract 20 from this, then we need to subtract 10 more. So there is no any difference. There are no any two numbers with the difference 10 under a specific location. So this is the only possibility that we are having. From location A the demand is 70, from location B the demand is 60, from location C the demand is 70 and location D the demand is 50. So now the route is going to be what? The route is going to be from warehouse W, the route is going to be in the decreasing order of demand. So it can be A, C, B, D, or it can be warehouse C, A, B, D. Because A and C is having same demand. So the minimum distance we need to, the warehouse, the supplier will choose a location with the minimum distance if there is a tie. So warehouse to location A and warehouse to location C, which distance is smaller, that you need to check. So warehouse to location C is 12, warehouse to location A is 5. So this 5 is smaller. So supplier will choose this route. So warehouse to location A, the distance is 5. Now location A to location C, the distance is going to be how much? Let's have a look at it. The smallest distance we need to choose. So now location A to location C. So it can be 6 plus 4, 10, this 6 and this 4. But location B is there. The other possibility is over here, we cannot revisit any other location. So there is only possibility that from A to C, it should go like this. The A to C, this distance is how much? 17. From C to B, the distance is 4, and from B to D, from B to D, the smallest possible distance is 10 plus 2, 12. Why 10 plus 2, 12? Why not 6 plus 8, 14? Anyway, it is greater. Why not 4 plus 6, 10? Because we cannot revisit location C. So this addition is going to be how much? 17 plus 5, 22. 22 plus 4 is 26 and 12 is 38. That is why 38 is our answer here. The main important point over here is we cannot revisit same location again and again, and we always follow a shortest route, and along with that we always satisfy the demand in the decreasing order. After this, let's have a look at question number 8. What is the chance? Hold on. Let's have a look at question number 8. What is the chance that the total number of widgets delivered in a day is 260 and the route ends at location B? So now this question is related with probability. Let's have a look at it. The total requirement at station A at location A is going to be 50 or 70. Location B is going to be 40 or 60. Location C is going to be 70 or 100. And location D is going to be 30 or 50. We want this addition to be 260. In the last question, as we saw, the total maximum requirement, total maximum requirement is equal to 280. So we want this 280 to become 260. So we need to reduce the requirement by 20 units. Now we cannot distribute these 20 units in between more than one location. So this 20 we need to subtract from any one of the location, and that location cannot be C. So because 100 minus 20 is 80, the requirement at location C cannot be 80. So this 20 we can decrease from A or B or D. One more condition given in the question, that from warehouse to the last location it's supposed to be location B. The requirement at location B is either 40 or 60. So let's have a look at it. If we subtract this 20 from over here, if we subtract this 20 over here, no, 1 second. So if we consider 30 from this, in that case the D will have the smallest requirement. That is not going to be possible. The requirement of D cannot be less than B. The requirement of D should be more than or equal to B. So we need to consider this 50 over here. After that 20 we cannot subtract from C. So over here 100 is fixed. So now if we subtract that 20 from A, means instead of 70 if we consider 50, then what will happen? Then if we consider 50, then the requirement of B will become 40 or 60. If it becomes 60, the requirement of B will become definitely 60. Then station A, location A will come at last. That is not going to happen. So from this we can conclude that this 20 we should decrease from B, from maximum requirement. So we will consider 40 over here and we will consider 70 over here. So the requirement at location B is going to be 40. The requirement at location A is 70. Location A is 70, location B is 40, then location C is 100, location D is 50. So the sequence is going to be from warehouse to location C, then location A, then location D. So what is the probability? What is the probability of this sequence? That you need to find. Let's have a look at it. The requirement at C is 100, the requirement at A is 70, the requirement at D is 50. What is the probability that the demand at C is 100? That is 70%, that is 0.7. The requirement at A is 70. The probability of this is 60%, that is 0.6. The requirement at D is 50. The probability of that is 0.6. The requirement at B is 40. The probability for that is 0.3. So let's multiply these four numbers, everyone. That is 6 into 6 is 30. 6 into 6 is 36. 36 into 3 is 108. So 0.7 into 0.108. Let's multiply this. This is going to be 756. This is going to be how much? 0.0756. That is nothing but 7.56 divided by 100. That is nothing but 7.56%. This is how we can solve this question. After this, let's have a look at question number 9. In this question, the first location visited from the warehouse is Ahmednagar. Then what is the chance that the total distance covered in the route is 40 km? So let's have a look at it. Over here, the first location from warehouse to Ahmednagar is the first location. It means Ahmednagar is having demand of 70. It means Ahmednagar is having demand of 70. Then after Ahmednagar, the next location is going to be C, because the demand at C is going to be either 100 or 70. Now it cannot be 100 because the demand is satisfied in a decreasing order. So the demand at location C is going to be 70, not 100. Then after that, there is going to be B or D, and there is going to be B or D over here. Let's have a look at it. The demand at B or D is 40 or 60, and demand at D is 30 or 50. We want total distance traveled to be 40 kilometers. So now from warehouse to A, the distance traveled is 5. After that, A to C, the distance traveled is 5 plus 12, because we cannot revisit the location B or location D. That is why we cannot take this 6 plus 4, this 8 plus 6 distance. That is why only possibility is 5 plus 12. The total addition till this is 22. So now how much is left? Total distance we need to travel is 40. Out of that, 22 kilometers traveled. Now 18 kilometers are left. So now there are two choices we are having. First is from location C, the next is B, next is D. Or from location C, the next is D, next is B. So let's have a look at it. C to B, the distance is 4. B to D, we cannot take this 6 plus 8. Only possibility is 10 plus 2. This is equal to how much? 16. So this is invalid, because we want the addition to be 18. Now the next possibility is C to D. The distance to be traveled is 6. Now D to B, the distance to be traveled is 2 plus 10. This addition is equal to 18. So this is valid combination. So the route that we are following is from warehouse to location A, location A to C to D to B. The requirement at location A is 70, at location C is 70, location D, the next is going to be location D, it has to be 50. It cannot be 30. And the requirement at location B cannot be 60, it has to be 40, because the requirement is satisfied in a decreasing order. So the probability that requirement at location A is 70% is 60%, that is 0.6. At location C, the requirement is 30, requirement is 70, the probability of that is 30%, 0.3. At location D, the requirement is 50, the probability of this event is 60%, 0.6. And at location B, the requirement is 40, the probability for that is 30%, 0.3. So let's multiply these numbers. What we will get? 3 into 3 is 9, 9 into 6 is 54. So now 54 into 6, this multiplication is going to be 324. So this is going to be how much? 0.0324. So the answer of this question is going to be 3.24%, not 18%. The answer of this question is 3.24%. After this, let's have a look at the next question number 10. Question number 10 is, if Ahmednagar is not the first location to be visited in the route, total distance traveled is 29, then which of the following is a possible number of visits delivered on that day? So let's have a look at it. From warehouse, If Ahmednagar is not the first location, then the first location has to be location C, because in that case the demand of Ahmednagar, demand at A, B and D is going to be less than C. After this, so the first location from warehouse to C, the distance traveled is how much? Let's have a look at it. From warehouse to C, the distance traveled is 12. We want total distance traveled to be 29. So from 29, 12 is already traveled, the remaining is what? 17. So we need to travel the distance 17. Now what you will come to know, if you observe and if you take the help of previous question solved, how this 17 can be formed? 4 plus 6 plus 7, and this 7 is nothing but 5 plus 2. So 4 distance means from C to we need to travel B, and then from B to we need to travel A, distance A, and then A to we need to travel distance 7 to reach at point D. So the route that we are supposed to follow is CBAD. After that, what we need to find, which of the following is a possible number of widgets delivered on that day. Now this is in a decreasing order. This is in a decreasing order, everyone. The requirement at C is going to be 70 or 100. The requirement at B is 40 or 60. The requirement at A is 50 or 70. And the requirement at D is 30 or 50. So now look here. The order is fixed, CBAD. And this order is supposed to be in a decreasing order. So from this we can conclude that the value of A cannot be 70. If A becomes 70, then B cannot be greater than A. So from this we can conclude that the demand at location A is 50. And in a similar way, the demand at location B cannot be 40. It has to be 60 to form a decreasing order. After that, demand at location D can be 30 or 50. This can be 70 or 100. So the possible additions are going to be what? Let's have a look at it. This is 70, 60, 50, 30. Or you can say 70, 60, 50 and 50. Or if you take 100 over here, the remaining things as it is 60, 50, 30. If you take 100 over here, the remaining things as it is 60, 50, 30. 60, 50, 50 now. So these are the 4 possible additions are there. So over here, this addition is going to be how much? 260. This addition is going to be how much? 240. This addition is equal to 230. And this addition is 210. You can see 210 is the only option which is one among these 4 numbers. So this is how we can solve this set.